Hello, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Across the Red River is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And I'm out walking around at night. Love to do that for some exercise. You come check us out. Starting the 25th. So that's really coming up really soon. The Red River Revel is going to start. I know on the 26th, Pam Tillis will be here. I've talked about that in other videos. I went to see her in concert. I don't know, sometime back. There's actually videos on my YouTube channel from that Pam Tillis concert, and of course she's here playing for the music festival and the art festival and everything. So I'm gonna be catching lots of fun things. It's one of these things. It's like there's something to do for every budget, and you can spend as little or as much as you want. I'm needing to save money because I have big things coming up on the 28th, and so gotta have money saved for that. But let's see, let me cross this road without getting hit. I love downtown. It's Monday night. It's busy, but it's not stupid busy. So my travel companion for the cruise that's coming up did decide that we're going to take at least one night in New Orleans, like drive down there, stay in a room, and I guess that way we can be like up and fresh when we check in to the cruise. We had the express check-in passes, so we have our assigned time, but because of the passes, we kind of get to be among the first to check in at that time. These boats, they check in close to 3,000 guests, not to mention whatever crew is there and everything like that. So they do. I'm sorry, I get dry mouth, and I didn't bring a drink out with me, so I spit like a cretin, or what's the word? A slobbering mess. I don't know. But I've already done like my big walk around downtown. Went out to a meeting, got home, went and checked the mail, felt good, decided to take a walk. But look at what I'm doing. My foolishness. Walking in boots, right? When am I gonna learn? I should have changed into sneakers, but hey. It's not like I've been out walking for hours and hours. Probably enough to kill enough time that by the time I get home and fix a little something to eat, it'll be close to midnight. Anywhere from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is my midnight block of time, so that I can make some food with the fresh calorie count. And I'm not going to worry too much about it, the diet and everything on the vacation. But I'm going to do what I can to be in the best shape I can be before I go. And that does mean I do need to hit up the gym a little bit more. And I did decide to go ahead and do the Black Card gym membership. I figure if I spent a little bit above my gym membership benefit of my insurance, if I went ahead and got the primo and spent a little bit, that the spending of the money would encourage me not to waste it, and so therefore go and use the benefit. At the same time, I'm trying to slender the stomach, but I also want to work on resistance for building on my chest and shoulders, and nobody really cares about legs. I'll just wear board shorts or something. I don't have any board shorts. Oh, I do have some cool shorts that I can wear around. Maybe if I didn't use them, if I didn't swim in them, then they can last me most of this trip, you know. We're only going to be on the boat 5 days and 1 morning. So, and then we dock that morning, and it's like one final breakfast if we choose to do it, and then we exit the boat. And you know, I'll probably get off the boat and probably drive straight back, knowing us. Shreveport is about 6 hours, roughly 5.5, 6 hours from Shreveport, depending upon that traffic from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. When you leave Baton Rouge on I-10 going into New Orleans, sometimes the traffic into the city, with people going in for the jobs and everything like that, it can get backed up and hold you up a little bit. So that's probably why my friend decided to go there the night before. It's gonna be fun. And of course, it's an all-inclusive vacation. I don't drink alcohol, so I didn't pay for the alcohol package, but I did get the soda package. You guys know that I drink soda like oh my god. Hey, like an alcoholic goes through beer, you know. Like yeah, like a fish drinks water. So I've got some bronzer that I'm going to use to help my skin glow a little bit, because I really don't get enough sun. But with my gym membership that I am paying the extra for, I can do you know, the tanning bed. But I'd want to be careful on that. I don't want to go on this boat already sunburned. That would just be, it wouldn't be fun, you know. So if I did start using that benefit, fair-skinned as I am, I would only want to do maybe 4 or 5 minutes at a time, you know, a little bit each day. Because if I go like the full like 12 minutes, I'd be like too red, you know. And you know, I would burn for that. You have to, for me, I would have to like start out and go each day. Or, you know, maybe I could do 2 sessions in a day, one in the morning and one at night, you know, to get a little color. But see, I don't, fair skin as I am, I just want a little bit of a healthier glow, some tone, so I'm just not like totally pale when I'm cruising around the Caribbean. But I don't really need to get a really dark, rich mocha, you know, tan, you know, because you know, that would just be unnatural. I do think when I lived in Miami, well, I homestead, but Miami-Dade County is a big part of that. And I was in and out of the sun like every day. I'd walk to work, come home from work. It was still, you know, the daytime sometimes. My days off, my day and a half off, I should say. I worked a lot for that restaurant, the White Lion. But yeah, I seriously just what can I say? I worked so much for living life down there that I really didn't have the time to vacation. Really, I thought this is a dream. I was just going to go down there and basically get a job and support myself and live on the beach, and we'd be able to blah blah blah. But it turned out to be, which I don't mind it. I learned a lot from the job, but when you don't really get the breaks that you should get, you burn out, so. And I thought it was the restaurant. I literally thought it was the restaurant the whole time I was down there. It turned out, and maybe you can relate to this or maybe not, but every bit, well, it turns out that not only was I an addict in need of recovery, but when I'm not doing drugs or drinking, I was a workaholic. And so I was constantly working. And then when I came back to Shreveport, I'm like, gonna come back and live with family and everything like that, or be near my family or whatever. I took so many jobs, so many part-time jobs. I stayed working constantly. It took me a few months to get reestablished here in town. You don't just walk into a place that you haven't lived in for a while and start afresh, with the work reputation and this, it's like what I really had to do was reestablish myself. But I did, and I there was this one time I worked 4 jobs, technically 5 when I think about the extra catering gigs that I got associated, and it was all part of the same community. But I worked as in any way that I could, a shopkeeper and a servant to a church, and also to a lot of the members in the neighborhood. And I'm not Episcopalian, so it didn't, I was good for that. I was available for time. But what happens when you're a workaholic? Do you guys know? A real workaholic does not give himself time to recuperate, and trying to work that many jobs, something suffers. Usually a little bit of all those jobs suffer. And and my relationship suffered also, because I didn't have time to invest in the relationship because I was always working. And it was like, when you're that tired from working, and then someone is like gives you just a little bit of an edginess to their day or something, and you're so tired, you're like, you know what, I don't need to take this shit at home. I take it, I hold all the, so you're stressed. What do? You let it out at home. So yeah, when you don't really give yourself enough of a break, things kind of crumble the same way as it would with drugs or anything like that. And what was I doing in the long run? Trying to furnish the room that I was living in, because my relationship had fallen apart, but we decided we were still going to be housemates, and I needed to furnish my room. So that, that's expensive, Anyway, yeah. Workaholic is just as destructive as alcoholic, drug, gambling, anything like that. A balance is what I had to learn. And so what I really kind of figure is that the work that I was constantly doing in Homestead, as a matter of fact, they gave me a vacation after I'd been there about a year. They told me to take a 2-week vacation. I went out promptly and got another job. Like that same day, I was in another restaurant working another job. And then when that didn't pan out, they took me back. I was burning myself out from being a workaholic and other types of holics or addicts, addictions or whatever. So long time ago. But, you know, I still have a lot of good feelings for being down there. Okay, well, how I got on this topic, I don't know. Never mind. Uh, oh yeah, I was talking about needing to. When I lived down there, I had a perpetual tan. When I moved back to Shreveport, back to Louisiana, actually, I went to New Orleans first for a few weeks and then came back up here. I remember because I got a job working at the Hummingbird Grill, which closed. It closed the month that I got there, and I worked there for one day. And then decided, hey, I'm going to come back to Shreveport. So whatever, you know, and get to work up here. But there's a huge historical movement going on to chronicle the time of the Hummingbird Grill and the hotel that's adjacent to it. I'm like, you know, I have history with that place. I can tell you a little bit about it. It goes all the way back to, for me, the end of 1991. Going into 1992, and then a few other times. But yeah, I'm familiar with the Hummingbird enough to give my personal account of it. People are just trying to gather it. It was the last of the affordable burger grills, you know, where you go in and get a burger and fries and a soda for like $6 plus a tip or something. You know, it was, yeah. And it had affordable rooms that you could stay in, and it was just great. But whether they were the same business or they were just adjacent, so they shared the same name. But I got in touch with the guy. I sent him an email who's collecting the information, and I explained my brief history, or my sporadic but long history with the Hummingbird. And he invited me to get in touch with them. So maybe I'll get in touch with them and say, you know, I'm going to be down there on the 28th, and I'll have some time early in the morning on the 29th before we go to the boat. So if you want to meet up and have a cup of coffee in my lobby, you know, I'll tell you what I know. But yeah, other than that, I really don't want to get into trading phone numbers and stuff like that until I vet the project a little bit more. But it's from that era of New Orleans right before gentrification, which started to happen after Hurricane Katrina, really, in some small part, gradually. By the time I went back there, by the time I got this, I want to say in 2013, shortly after my mom passed, I went down there just to, like, I don't know, kind of gather myself away from distraction and away from responsibility, really. And gentrification of the Marigny Bywater within the Third Ward. That was full underway, and the New Orleans that I knew had drastically changed. Not because people come there and stay a few years and then move out, rotate around, but because of community renewal. Now, this apartment that I'm in now, I got clothes all over it. Never mind if you see some of it. We're doing a lot of cleaning tonight because give me something to do tonight. But like folding laundry and stuff. But this apartment, before tax credit, is over $1,200, and but then there's tax credit and various, you know, whatever. But that's what market rate is all over the city, basically, for a modernized apartment. And so that's what happens with gentrification. What they call affordable housing is not affordable compared to the $500, $600, $700 rent uh, that was here before. Uh, you know, although there wasn't anything here before, there was a lot of land not being used. But before then, before those houses were cleared away, and the reason why they were cleared away is because of the movie industry in 2005. After Katrina, the New Orleans movie industry really shifted up here throughout this area of the state, and that we got like Hollywood fever. We thought we were just going to be the next Hollywood. I look out my balcony and I see G Unit, and so we're like 50 Cent, yay! But you know what? He's also got studios in Houston, and he's, we're not his only. This is one location. This dude is quite diversified. I kind of have to admire him as a business mogul, But he has some shops and things going on downtown, and it's almost like the G Unit is kind of like just a logo or a label for a lot of businesses that he can branch off in. The dude's got his fingers in a lot of different pies, So I kind of respect that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Well, I'm home now, and yeah. I love you guys, and yeah. Bon appetit. I should be eating, in a little bit. So, bon appetit, I guess, does apply. This isn't a food video. I've just got some chicken wings I'm going to heat up. But, love and light. Peace. Good night.